85% of traders who hit their profit target still fail the eval. You grind for 12 days, hit $3,000, feel invincible, then blow $1,800 in 2 revenge trades because you stopped respecting the risk. The profit target isn't the goal, it's psychological bait. And the moment you start chasing that number instead of protecting capital, you've already lost. Here's why firms dangle that $3,000 in front of you. Because neurologically, when people fixate on a specific numerical outcome, they increase risk-taking behavior to catch up to the goal. Research on goal pursuit shows this pattern everywhere. It's not a trading problem, it's a human problem. And prop firms know it. The second you start thinking $3,000 to pass, you've already lost. Because now every trade becomes about chasing that number instead of executing your edge. Prop firms dangle profit targets in front of you. $3,000 to pass. $3,000 for the next phase, and psychologically, that number becomes your obsession. So what do traders do? They over-leverage. They force trades. They chase setups that aren't there because they're doing math in their head. If I risk $300 here, I'm closer to the target. That's backward. The profit target isn't the goal. Survival is the goal. Because if you blow the account before you hit the target, it doesn't matter how close you were. The eval isn't a race. It's a test of whether you can stay disciplined under pressure. And the second you start chasing targets, you've already failed that test. Here's what happens neurologically when you focus on targets. Your brain starts treating trading like a deadline-driven task. Research on goal pursuit shows that when people are fixated on a specific numerical outcome, they increase risk-taking behavior to catch up to the goal. This is why traders who are down $200 with a $3,000 target start thinking, I need a big win to get back on pace. That's goal-oriented thinking overriding process-oriented discipline. Compare that to capital preservation thinking. I'm down $200, which means I've used 10% of my max drawdown. I need to be more selective and protect the remaining 90%. See the difference? One mindset leads to desperate trades. The other leads to defensive strategic execution. Prop firms understand this psychology. They know the profit target acts as psychological bait. It makes traders focus on the reward instead of the risk. And the moment you're focused on reward, you stop respecting danger. Here's what funded traders understand. If you protect capital, profits take care of themselves. That means working backward from max drawdown to determine position size, following your stop even when it hurts, sitting flat when there's no setup, even if you're behind pace. Never revenge trading after a loss. This sounds boring, and it is, but boring wins. Because the trader who survives gets to compound. The trader who swings for home runs and blows up, they're back at checkout buying another eval. Wyckoff said it over 100 years ago. The successful trader is not primarily concerned with making money, but with conserving what he already has. That's still true, especially in prop firms where one bad session can end the entire eval. Here's the math in simple terms. If you risk 5% of your max drawdown per trade, you get 20 attempts before you're done. If you risk 15% per trade, you only get about 7 attempts. Which trader survives longer? The one taking smaller risks. And yeah, the bigger risk produces bigger profits over 100 trades, if you survive that long. But with only 7 attempts, one bad streak and you're cooked. Capital protection isn't about making less money. It's about staying alive long enough for your edge to play out. Because edge only works over sample size. and you can't get sample size if you blow up on trade 6. And before this video ends, I'll show you where to find backtesting platforms and sim tools so you can actually prove your edge exists before you risk real money on it. This is where most traders struggle, because capital protection doesn't feel good. Hitting a profit target feels like winning. Protecting capital feels like playing defense, and traders want to feel like they're doing something. But here's the truth. Defense is what gets you funded. Offense might get you one big day, but defense keeps you alive long enough to hit targets naturally. The mindset shift is this. Stop asking, how do I hit $3,000? And start asking, how do I not break the rules? If you can go 10, 15, 20 trading days without violating max drawdown, the profits will come. Your edge will play out. The target gets hit because you survived, not because you forced it. That's the difference between strategy and gambling. Strategy protects capital and lets the edge compound. Gambling chases targets and gets wrecked. Here's a practical reframe. Instead of thinking, I need to make $3,000, think, I need to not lose more than $2,000 total across the entire eval. That puts you in capital protection mode immediately. Every trade becomes a risk assessment. If this goes against me, how much of my $2,000 buffer am I using? Instead of, how much closer does this get me to $3,000? One mindset leads to careful, selective trading. The other leads to forcing action and over-leveraging. And the prop firms know which mindset passes evals. So here's the bottom line. Profit targets are bait. Capital protection is the actual game. If you can shift your focus from making money to not losing money, you've unlocked the mindset that passes evals and builds funded accounts. The math backs it up. Lower risk per trade means higher survival probability. Higher survival probability means more time for edge to work. More time for edge means targets get hit naturally. Survival first, profits second, always. If this landed, hit that like and subscribe. It helps us fight the algorithm and deliver content that actually makes you a better trader. Links below if you're serious and want to explore platforms for charting, backtesting, journaling, automated analytics, psychology, trade sync, and funding. Order filled, helping you see the game clearly so you don't get played. Educational only, not financial advice. Futures trading carries risk. Protect your capital.